I was in UB, my first year in UB, 2014-2015 academic year, second semester, that was 2015. I was sick. I left Boya and came to Bamenda for treatment. So I had typhoid and malaria. It was really bad. So I had to come here for treatment immediately. And when I came for treatment, when I was in the hospital, my friends called me that they're about to write CAs. So I had to stop my treatment and go back to rush to Boya for my CAs. So when I was at the park on my way to Boya, I paid my seat. When I entered the bus, I saw one of our lecturers inside the bus. So I greeted him and called him sir. So this is how I greeted him. Good evening, sir. And he was like, do you know me? Are you one of my students? And I said, yes, I'm one of the students from Boya. He's one of our... I graduated from journalism and mass communication with women and gender studies, double measures. So he's one of our lecturers in the JMC department. Then, when I was going to look for my seat in the bus, I discovered that we were sitting like... He was in seat 43 and me, I was in seat 44. That was 2015. So we just sat together and we were discussing. And this lecturer, normally, with all his courses, he's always having a ledger where he writes all the students' names, their email addresses, and their phone numbers. So he opened that book in the bus, asked for my name, I told him, and he called all my names. He showed me. I said, yes, that's my name. We discussed, and the bus started moving. So when the bus was moving, normally when the bus starts moving like that, there's always noise in the car. It was a night journey. Then, after some time, people will start sleeping, falling asleep, since it's night journey. So when the bus was calm, around 11 to 12 in the night, and there was so much cold, so I removed my loin from my back and covered my body with it. After like 30 minutes to 1 hour, I discovered that somebody was touching me, my thighs. So I was surprised. And it was a lecturer from UB, the person I was sitting with. So at first I was scared to tell him to take off his hand from my body. And he was touching me. Then something came to me. No matter the fact that he's my lecturer and he's my elder, he has no right to touch me that way. And I took off his hand from my body and placed it on his leg. I just assumed that he's sleepwalking. And after some minutes, he still placed his hand again on my thighs, and I took it off. He still placed it again. The third time, I just took it off with force and threw it on his body. And I was surprised that, despite the fact that I was sick, and I told him that I left my treatment halfway to go and finish my CAs, he still had the guts to touch me, like inside the bus. That is a public space. He had no respect for my body, and I was very angry. He did it again. He did it like the 5th time. I shouted at him and told him that I'm not comfortable. That was when he stopped, and he started telling me that it's normal, that he's not going to harm me, those type of things. I told him that I'm not comfortable, that he should stop what he's doing. I don't like it. That was what I was like. I was like, so I don't like what you're doing. Please stop what you're doing. I don't like it. I'm not comfortable. It was a good act to see my lecturer and like greet him, because many students will not do that. All that came to his head was sex. And I'm happy that day when I left the house, I was putting on trousers, because if I was putting on a gown or a skirt, he would have sent his hand into my pants and like molest me inside the bus. And there's no office where I can go and report that was what happened in the bus. And even if I say it to people, they'll tell me that I enjoyed it, or they'll say that I'm lying. When we arrived Boya, We arrived around 5 a.m. in the morning. He asked me, I told him goodbye, that I'm going home. We were supposed to have his class that day, was like from 7 to 9, 2 hours class. So when I went back home, I rested. He called my phone. My phone number is inside his book. So he called me and asked me if I'll come to class. I refused. I had the energy to go, but with what happened in the bus, I did not have the courage to go to class, to go and sit and look at him in his face. Considering the fact that I did not act well in the bus. That was what I told myself that day. That I was supposed to do more than what I did. More than just telling him that I don't like what I did or what. So from that day, I never attended his class again. I only went and wrote his CA, wrote his exam, and my prayer was that let me pass and go. I did not even care about the grade again. And his course was extremely simple. I had a C. Those type of simple courses, normally I'm supposed to have a B+ or A, but due to his action, I did not take his classes serious again. I never attended his class again, and I just went and wrote my CA, wrote my exam. All my prayer was, let me pass and leave this teacher's class. And I was praying that let me not meet him in the next level, because when he starts like that, I don't know what he will do next. I don't know. And I was praying that let me never meet him again in any course. And my prayers were answered. I never met him again. See, I left UB. The reason why I'm sharing this story is because not only touching is even too big, but that's just looking at somebody is violence. There's a way that you look at somebody and make the person feel uneasy. That's a form of violence. I just wanted to share because there are many students that have gone through this type of thing in UB and in other schools in Cameroon and out of Cameroon, but are afraid to speak up because maybe the lecturer will fail them. If they share with their friends will tell them that they are lying, or they'll not take you serious, or some people will just joke like, didn't you enjoy what he did? But it's really serious. There was one point that I lost my self-esteem a bit. I was just feeling like all these men are just looking at us like us women and girls like sex objects. Even those JMC lecturers. Plus the stories that I've heard about them, I don't know if it's true or false. But there's no smoke without fire. So I was just feeling like they just look at women that way, and it is very wrong. It is very wrong. Normally, when people hear of violence or gender-based violence, they only think about rape, like battery, physical violence or emotional violence. But this one is real. It happens all the time. Almost like 1 in 3 girls have experienced it, but they keep quiet. There are some girls who are not even aware that they're being violated. So my advice I can give fellow students, especially university students, is that once boys, not only boys are perpetrators, girls are also perpetrators. Once another student, especially boys or lecturers, they start like harassing you, you should be able to identify that, to differentiate between harassment and normal behavior. You should be able to identify, and once you identify it, you take action immediately. Don't sit quiet. If there are not counselors in school, share it with your friends. Share with your friends. Your friends will share with their friends, and their friends will share with their other friends. And at least you discover that if it happens again after your own case, if it happens to another person, maybe the person will be able to speak for themselves because of what you did, because they heard of your story and they said that no, if I act this way, maybe this action will end. In order to stop this type of behavior, we have to start training our children, like when they're still small. Once your child starts discussing with you and understanding things, you have to start training them on how to respect other people and their bodies. If you train especially male children, because right from our homes, just the fact that there are some chores that they only allocate to girls and some to boys, they start bringing up children in that way, that the boys will be looking at girls like, you are meant for this, why I'm meant for this. No, they should bring us, like, they should mix. You bring up your children in such a way that these boys will know that, no, I have to respect girls, respect their bodies, and I also have to do this thing or that. Also, normally there are so many NGOs now out there, and they are talking about gender-based violence and other social issues. So my advice is, if you pass through this type of situation, just identify any NGO around you. Even if their main focus is not on gender-based violence, or like look into your situation, they'll look into it. Or they can send you to another NGO where they will look into your situation. That's it. Also, take part in seminars. Encourage girls. When you're going for seminars, take your friends with you, take your sisters, take your brothers, so that they'll get educated. Some people act out of ignorance, not because they're even aware of what they're doing. Some people just act because they saw it in movies and it was good, and they also want to act that way. Educate people around you so that they'll know when to act and how to act, and not being able to violate another person's right with their actions.